Welcome into the Inside Carolina podcast, presented to you by Johnny T-Shirt and JohnnyT-Shirt.com. I'm your host, Ross Martin, and as always, we are joined by Donnie Scoops Callahan. What's up, Don?
Not too much. How have you been?
I'm good, and this is the Scoop podcast, UNC's premier football recruiting podcast. We got Don on here, and we're going to bring on Drake Maye in a little bit as well for interview. Of course, Drake is the 2021 UNC commitment, and that's going to be a big interview. What do you think about that, Don?
I'm excited. Drake is always a good conversationalist. So interesting to take a little bit of a deeper dive into what's going on with him, with the class, his thoughts and everything. But before we get to it, I think I need to give a shout out to someone very special. Robert, I won't go with his last name. He sent you an email this, I guess it was last week, defending my honor, which was very admirable of him. And the title of his email, which is the best subject line I've ever seen in an email, was "Leave Don Alone." When you see this email pop up in your email box, what goes through your mind?
I didn't know you were going to drop this on me. I was like, what's this guy talking about? He was getting on me for teasing you too much, right? Or not letting you talk too much or something?
Yeah. I mean, let me just read a little excerpt from it. I am writing you to let you know that you need to stop saying to Don, "I am sure that the listeners don't want to hear about blank." Don is a little quirky, but that is what I enjoy most about the podcast.
There you go. There you have it. I'll never limit what you talk about again. Thanks for the email, Robert. All right. So remember, rate, review, and subscribe to the Inside Carolina podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Go on there. Give us a 5-star rating. Give us a little review and subscribe so this podcast can always get into your feed. Not only for the Scoop, but all the different great podcasts we do, the Throwback, special interviews, On the Beat, Coast to Coast, Taylor Vippolis' podcast. Rate, review, and subscribe. All right, let's get into it here, Dom. We're going to start with a brief overview of your time at the Blazing 7-on-7 tournament. A lot of UNC commitments were there, and a lot of younger prospects as well. We're then going against the Bryson Nesbitt, who is one of the remaining unsigned or uncommitted targets for UNC. We're then going to bring on Drake Maye, UNC's 2021 quarterback commitment, and talk to him. Wide-ranging interview with Drake Maye. And then we'll close with a Tony Grimes announcement preview. Grimes announcing next Tuesday, June 30th. Right, Don?
Yes. So UNC fans are definitely excited. We've had actually a bunch of stuff on Grimes content-wise the past couple of weeks. We had a video interview with him and his dad, which was probably the most fun video interview I've done. And then the week prior, we had an update with Grimes, who kind of just gives a little bit of, I think it's actually the last interview with him he's done since he came out with his decision date. So if you haven't read or seen both of those, definitely check them out.
Good stuff. All right, Blazing 7-on-7, Don. Tell us kind of who was there, and then we'll go into kind of what you saw, what you observed before diving into kind of Bryson Nesbitt, who I think is the more intriguing of the prospects who were in attendance.
So the big team there was the Carolina Stars, which is quarterbacked by Drake Maye, who we'll have on later on. And just having Drake Maye, period, is quite a coup for a 7-on-7 team. But then you have a wide receiver group it's just insane with 4-star UNC commit Gavin Blackwell, and then they have Julian Gray is a 4-star NC State commit. They have a Virginia commit. Their defense is loaded with Dontavius Nash and a couple of other FBS, FCS guys. And then after dominating on Saturday, winning all of or not losing in any of their round-robin games, they ended up bringing in Ra Dilworth for Sunday, the tournament, and they ended up winning that. The team is so stacked that they had a B team. The B team ended up being the team that they played in the championship to win. In addition to that group, there was the Low County Outlaws, which had J.J. Jones, a wide receiver commit from North Carolina. And then also you mentioned Bryson Nesbitt, who played for the Black Knights. So a ton of talent there. A lot of it was on one team, but it was definitely a fun event and good to get out and see some actual competition.
Yeah, and briefly, can you kind of go over what maybe one or two takeaways from the UNC commitments that you saw? We'll start with Drake Maye.
Yeah, so it's kind of unfortunate because my expectations for both Drake Maye and Gavin Blackwell are so high that they can only disappoint me. But I mean, really, May was like he's always been, where he goes out there, and these are the settings he's great at, where he can just dissect a defense and just kind of sit back there and just be so nonchalant about it and throw a pass here. Oh, on this play, I want to go deep, so I'm going to go deep to Gavin Blackwell and just put a ball right where it needs to be for a touchdown. Blackwell, unbelievable player, but the thing that I love about him is he just absolutely has fun out there. I've mentioned multiple times about he reminds me of Chad Johnson with just the antics, the dancing, the having fun, the trash talking with everyone, including his teammates, his coaches, and nobody takes it serious. Everybody knows he's just having a good time. So he's just a lot of fun to watch. I think UNC fans will see that once he takes the field in Kenan Stadium. Dontavius Nash is the third UNC commit on that team. And unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of takeaways because he wasn't tested very often. He wasn't tested at all from what I watched, and he had to jump up to make a deflection on an underneath pass to even get the ball. But quarterbacks are staying away from him, which is expected because he just has an imposing figure in that back of the secondary, and he's so rangy. And then J.J. Jones, another one who, for different reasons, I didn't get a chance to kind of take a whole lot away because they just weren't targeting him very much. And the thing is the Outlaws weren't very good. They won only one game. So, obviously if you want to win some more games in those 7-on-7s, which isn't entirely the goal per se, but if that's the goal, then I think they need to feed him the ball more often. And I would love to have just kind of seen him get a lot more passes to be able to make a better judgment on what I saw. But from what I saw, great route runner, seemed to have a reliable pair of hands.
Great. Can you kind of go into like 7-on-7? So there's no offensive line, no defensive line, right?
Correct.
So the quarterback has as much time as possible, or is there a clock or something?
So, usually there's a center, and usually it's the backup quarterback. But no, they have a certain amount of time, and either they have one of these stands that kind of, as soon as the ball leaves the stand, it times it, or one of the referees kind of has a stopwatch. And if you don't throw within that certain period of time, which is only a few seconds, then it's considered a sack, loss of down, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then points depend on what tournament you're in. Some give defense points if they stop the offense from scoring. Some, some have extra points, and it could be a 2-point conversion based off of where it's located at. Some places have first downs, but usually the first downs are kind of like a set line that you have to get to. They don't have sticks. But it's, the general concept is the same. You're throwing the ball down the field trying to get a touchdown.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay. Anything else from kind of your weekly scoop and the 7-on-7 stuff?
Well, you wanted to talk about Nesbitt.
Okay. Yeah. So Nesbitt, tight end. Let me go through his profile real quick. 6'6", 220-pound tight end from South Mecklenburg High School in Charlotte, class of 2021. Pretty high ranked kid. Number 384 nationally, number 17th tight end in the nation, number 22 in the state of North Carolina. South Carolina, Auburn offers, Florida, North Carolina. What's going on with his recruitment after did you speak with him?
Yes. I spoke with him, and we'll have a full update on him.
Okay.
But, he has a top 14, but it's probably closer to, half that as far as what schools are really involved with him. North Carolina definitely is making a push with him. We reported in the Weekly Scoop a couple weeks ago that UNC is, for lack of a better term, going all in.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still recruiting other tight ends, but they are just throwing all their resources at Bryson Nesbitt. And from my conversation with him, it's paying off, and North Carolina is definitely making some strides. But he's always very collected on how he responds to questions, and he's not going to say this school's leading or that school is. And I mean, he's kind of just takes a very slow approach to recruiting as it is. But UNC's definitely moving in a positive direction with him.
Yeah, and like I said, like South Carolina seems like one of the major
Well,
competitions for the Tar Heels.
both of his parents graduated from South Carolina. His dad played football. His mom played, I want to say soccer, but I could be wrong. But she definitely was an athlete. And his dad, I believe, is still a sideline reporter for the radio station there. So obviously South Carolina is, regardless of the situation or the state of their program, they're going to be a strong contender for him into the end.
Yeah, South Carolina football, kind of on like the downswing with Will Muschamp. I think they went 4-8 last year or something. Not the
but
most,
they beat Georgia.
Yeah, not the most momentum here. So, all right, good stuff. We're gonna bring on Drake Maye here momentarily, so stay tuned for that. First, I want to talk to you about Johnny T-Shirt and JohnnyT-Shirt.com. They're Inside Carolina's loyal podcast sponsor, right on Franklin Street and right there online at JohnnyT-Shirt.com. Inside Carolina subscribers can get 10% off using the Giant T-shirt code found on the premium message board. So check that out. Great sweatshirts, hats, shorts, shirts. Get all your gear for the summer, football season, and gearing up for basketball season as well. Johnny T-shirt and JohnnyT-shirt.com. They're local. They got great customer service, everything you need. If you're going to get UNC stuff, and we assume you are, get the newest gear, the newest stuff, go to Johnny T-shirt and JohnnyT-shirt.com. And remember to use that 10% off discount code for IC subscribers only. We'll be right back with Drake Maye. Welcome back to The Scoop, Inside Carolina's premier football recruiting podcast. We have a very special guest. We are joined now by 2021 UNC quarterback commit Drake Maye. What's going on, Drake?
Not much. How are y'all doing? I'm doing good. Yes, sir.
Great. And Drake's joining us from the beach. He's on vacation, so we love that he's able to join us here. Return right to Don for the first question.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking a break from your vacation and your beach time to wake up early to spend some time with us. But yeah, I saw you this past weekend at the 7-on-7, Blazing 7-on-7. You guys did unbelievable. Went undefeated, won the championship. What were your thoughts on just how you played and how you felt out there?
Yes, sir. No, it was awesome getting out there. Since during quarantine, it's been a little boring, so it was like first time getting out there and actually competing. No, it was fun out there. Got to throw some good guys out there. Had some Carolina commits I was playing with. Play against JJ, so it was fun. Yes, sir.
Speaking of which, just your team is just absolutely loaded. One of your receivers is Gavin Blackwell's commit to North Carolina. You have an NC State commit. You have a Virginia commit that you're throwing to. You got guys like Jordan Bly, who I think are really underrated. And then you have backups like underclassmen who already have offers. What's it like throwing to a group like that?
Oh no, it's hard to stop for sure. No, it's fun. I mean, it's one of those things. 7-on-7, you can basically pick before the play who you want to throw to, and they'll be open. But it's Carolina Stars does a good job of getting some good guys out there, and I try to get the best guys I can out there and get the guys that I'll play with in the future. So it's fun.
So I wanted to take a step back for those who haven't followed your recruitment too much. You had a very interesting recruitment. You were committed to Alabama for a while, and then there was always rumors that you were going to eventually flip to UNC. And then you actually did this past spring. What, looking back, what are kind of your thoughts and different things that stuck out to you about just how things went with your recruitment?
Yes, sir. So when I was first few years in high school, Coach Fedor, and then middle school, Coach Fedor was there. And, I went to a few camps, Coach Fedor. I liked him a lot. And then they had a few good years. But later, when I got to high school, they were struggling a little bit. And then Coach Brown came in, and he came in my sophomore year. And I wasn't really sure what was going to happen with the season. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole season of Coach Brown coaching. But so Alabama didn't have a 2020 quarterback. And Coach Saban, I like Coach Saban a lot, and it was a good opportunity. So I made that move. But and then Coach Brown got rolling, and they lost. They had about 6 games they lost, didn't score. So they had some guys in the state that were committing, and hopped on the train and tried to keep it rolling. Yes, sir.
When did you start to kind of like realistically think about making the switch to North Carolina?
Probably after my high school season, I really sat down with my family and talked about it. Actually went up there to Carolina maybe or late December maybe, and went up and talked to the coaches. But no, Coach Brown, Coach Longo, and Coach Bly, they were all great. Even when I was committed to Alabama, they were still talking to me and just checking in and still recruiting.
So, Nick Saban, we've heard all of the, I guess, myths about, what he's like and all that. What is he like for someone who's dealt with him so intimately?
He's awesome. He's very businesslike, but he cares about his players a lot. And I think I went down to the Alabama LSU game, and they took a tough loss. And one of the biggest things to ways, he still came out to all the recruits and said hello to every single recruit in his family. And I know that's just recruiting, but after losing a game like that to LSU, I think it's pretty tough to do. And smile on his face and still asking players questions and caring about them. But I like Coach Saban a lot for sure.
So go ahead,
jump in here. Yeah. So Drake, what was it about, UNC? Like, what were the coaches kind of telling you to kind of keep you interested throughout the season? Because I think you ultimately flipped in March. So what was it like when they were reaching out to you throughout the 2019 season, the UNC coaches?
There's second intel saying if I commit, we get something special going, and they already had something special with Keyshawn commit before me, but we kind of planned it out for Keyshawn and me to do it pretty close together. But then Coach Longo came to some games, and Coach Bly was obviously there for Jordan, and but they kept just showing love, and I respect them a lot for keep recruiting me. And Coach Brown's one of the best in the country at SFY. Yes, sir.
So what was that like? Was it just kind of telling you like we're building something? Was that kind of the major sell, and then you kind of saw it happen with what they did in 2019, and then you saw the full crowds, the close wins, the close losses, and you saw they were building something big at UNC?
Yes, sir. I think what they did with Clemson was I think it showed a lot to a lot of people, and it showed that they can contend, and I think this 21 class is going to make it even better.
One of the things that you kind of weighed when you were making a decision was just the quarterback situations at both of those schools. And I get this question a lot because you see a lot of like big time quarterbacks. They'll go to Clemson, even though Clemson has like a bunch of 4- and 5-star quarterbacks, and Alabama and all these other schools. So when you were kind of looking at this, what was kind of your approach with looking at the quarterback depth charts?
It's obviously something that you look at a little bit. But I probably care more about the offensive coordinator, my relationship with him, and what kind of offense they run. And, hometown state. There's nothing like playing for North Carolina. My dad did it. My brother did it. My mom went there. So, honestly, it came down to just where I wanted to go to college. I think I'd rather just if football doesn't work out, I think Carolina would still be a great place.
Okay. So as far as like, regardless of what the school was, but if they had a bunch of 4 or 5 stars on roster, ahead of you, that you didn't really look at that too much?
No, sir. No, I'm going to compete with whoever, no matter who it is. I think I'm willing to win the job, capable of winning the job, no matter who it is.
Okay. So that kind of gets to like your recruitment. You're part of this class now. And we can kind of jump into the 2021 class and your fellow commitments. What do you think of the class right now and what you're building? And we'll get into some particular players.
I think it's unbelievable so far. It's something crazy back in, I don't know, late March or early April, just to look at like the recruiting in-state commits. I mean, it's almost all Carolina. So I think Coach Brown and all the staff's done a really good job, and I think it's something fun to be a part of.
Yeah, and what's that like with the in-state stuff? I mean, we've heard that you've reached out to a lot of the players that have committed since you. What's that relationship like with all those different in-state guys? Because you play with some of them and you're close to a lot of them.
Yes, sir. Oh, no, it's awesome. We, my job as the quarterback is kind of be the head recruiter, and I've actually got a little bit of help. Keyshawn and everyone else. Eli has done a great job. So, just to reach out. The coaches kind of relist of who we're kind of circling in on, and then it's our job to get them. I think the players have almost just as important job as the coaches recruiting, getting to know guys and getting them wanting to come, and we still got some more work to do. But no, our class so far, we may all head to the beach or something, so we'll get together this summer. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, you said so the coaches they'll kind of say, hey, we're going after this guy, and then y'all are like text him, DM him, and try to focus on that guy. I mean, kind of can you explain how that works?
Yeah. So for instance, say Coach Brown or Coach Longo will kind of not really text us, but we'll get in a Zoom meeting with someone, and you can kind of get the message that we're kind of wanting this guy, and so we'll all just basically just text them, hit them up, or just put them in a group chat with all us together and say, what's going on, big dog, or how you feeling about Carolina, something like that. And then so you can pretty much tell as a commit or who else coaches like, and who else we're kind of got our eyes on. And we got about 17 or 18 right now, so we're about done with the class. So we got a few more coming, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think 16 right now. Don, is that right?
Yeah, 16.
Okay.
But yeah, he's right. They're about to be to the end.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the receivers who's committed to North Carolina, you being a part of the Carolina Stars, which you talked about earlier, has allowed you to work with that receiver, Gavin Blackwell. How would you describe Blackwell as a receiver?
Oh, he's smooth. He can do it all. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. He'll go up and get it. He'll run by you. He's a special player. I'm looking forward to playing with him. He makes me look good for sure. Yeah, he's going to say he's a big part of why I flip, but don't believe.
Well, so one of the things I noticed is just the chemistry you guys have already established. On one particular play, he yelled your name, blew you a kiss, and then there was nothing else said. You took a snap, and then you just dropped a dime in his hands in the end zone for a touchdown, where, of course, he blew a kiss to the DB. He bowed down, did a couple dances, all that sort of stuff. What are your thoughts on his post and pre-play antics?
Yes, sir. Gabo's funny. He talks a lot of crap on the field, but he backs it up, and he shows why he's one of the best receivers in the state. And no, we're still building that chemistry. We've only been playing together for a couple months just on the Stars, so we'll get even better, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then J.J. Jones, another wide receiver that you saw this weekend, obviously from South Carolina. What do you think about what J.J. can bring?
Oh, J.J., yeah, about 6'3", runs 4.5, so he'll go up and get it, and he can run. So I think it'll be a nice guy to throw to for sure. You always like those kind of guys. And it's first time meeting him and seeing him in person, he looks apart, and he's going to be a real good player as well.
And within that 2021 class that you have kind of committed right now, what are some of any big personalities or guys that are really fun, or any tidbits you can give us on that class that we don't know about?
Yes, I'll probably say Nash is the gooster. Nash in the group. Yeah,
that surprises me. He's more reserved than some of the other guys.
Yeah, yes, sir. No, Nash is funny. Keyshawn's got a big personality. Keyshawn's funny, and all great guys. They're all great guys, and it's fun to be around them for sure.
And you've kind of seen it, and you've kind of been a part of it, this momentum that UNC has built, not only on the football field last year, but with the 2020 class, and now it's just intensified with the 2021 class. I know that played a role in your commitment. So what do you think about the kind of the trajectory of UNC with stacking these recruiting classes, the defensive line recruits, offensive recruits, the quarterbacks with you and Jacoby Criswell and Sam Howell right now? What do you kind of think about where UNC's heading on the football field?
Oh, headed up. I saw something about 50-1 odds of making the playoffs this year. I think by the time we're there, we make it about 5-1, 4-1. So it'll be fun. Now this class, this program's heading in a great direction. Coach Brown, they've done an awesome job. Mac is definitely back, and I can't wait to see what happens. I think this may hopefully keep these recruitment classes rolling. Maybe 22 even being better. Just Coach Brown, and then they'll do a great job in the state. I think that's the main priority.
Okay. Don, you got anything else on 2021 class or anything?
No. I do want to ask him. I know that this is something that you wanted to get into, just about being Luke's little brother. If you ever get tired of every time someone does an interview with you, and even your dad too, just someone bringing up one of your family members.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's my title, Luke's little brother. So trying to change that when I get to Carolina. I think for the first time, maybe a week ago or so, they asked me to take a picture and didn't ask Luke. So put that in a journal or something. Post it on a picture frame in the wall or something. So
put it on the refrigerator.
I know. Yes,
so
sir.
he has to see it every time he gets milk.
Every time we go out, Luke's getting asked for about 20 pictures, and act like I don't even know who I am, but it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, you're the higher recruit. You're the bigger, higher profile, high school prospect. So that could change quickly once you get to UNC. I will say this: I covered Luke for 4 years, and you were a much better interview than him.
Am I actually? No.
Yeah, dude.
I thought Luke does well. Luke does well. You don't think so?
Yeah, he was good, but you'd have to really ask him. You'd really have to draw it out of him.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't.
Yes,
he wouldn't really reveal much without some direct questions and stuff.
Yeah, well, I think later in his years he got better, but nah.
I don't think he liked the media very much either. But yeah,
sir.
Look, all right. So that famous shot, obviously Luke is legend at UNC. Where were you for that shot? What was your memory of that big shot in 2017?
Yes, sir. I was in Memphis. I was watching it firsthand. I was on the fourth row. Carolina gives families great seats. So, no, it was awesome. It's honestly crazy. Just still, I remember about it, every detail of it. It's something that it's changed our lives for sure. So, great memory and great shot for sure.
What was it like growing up in your household with all those boys who played sports? I mean, was there a lot of competitive driveway basketball games, backyard football games? I mean, did you have a lot of holes in your walls from playing sports in the house?
Oh, everything you think of. Yes, sir. We're competitive, competing, everything. Being the youngest, kind of got bullied a little bit and still get bullied. But, I was the runt for a little bit, but I got up to about 6'4", 5", so I'm catching them. But it's having three older brothers is awesome. My dad was the only child, so he didn't want to put any of us through that. So he got 4 boys, which is awesome. It's been a blessing. Everything, whether it's ping pong or pickleball or tennis, we try to play everything and see who's the best. So it's always a competition.
When you walk into restaurants and everybody is above 6'4", 6'3" and above, and then of course Luke's taller than some of your other brothers, does everybody turn their head and look at y'all? I mean, I come from a tall family as well, so I'm sure it's even bigger for y'all.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they're I mean, they're always catching eyes. People always asking what sport y'all play.
Yeah.
No, but it's I'm still got a few inches to catch cold, but yeah, it's crazy, honestly.
Yeah, in your basketball career, I mean, I saw you might have averaged double this season. What's your basketball game like at Myers Park?
Yeah, I tried to have double, try to put my best Luke impression out there, but nah, we were a little small, so I played inside a little bit more. I rebound well. I tried to insert my football skills with a little passing on the court. No, but basketball's always been my first love, so it's always been a sport that I love playing growing up, and obviously watching Luke has made me want to play more. And I can play a little bit. Still got I have to work on it a lot more to be really good, but I like it a lot.
All right, Don. Anything else? We good?
No, I'm good. I really appreciate Drake doing this. Like
Yes,
I said, he's at the beach. We got him up early out of bed and everything. Yeah. He's probably going to take another nap before he goes and hits the waves.
Yeah, exactly. May go tee it up on the golf course.
Okay. All right. So no, I appreciate you doing this, Drake.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. See you, Drake. We'll be right back. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was great.
Yeah. His internet was going a little bit.
It got better though, which is good.
Yeah. So
whatever. All right. Ready? We'll go right into it.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. And we're back with the Scoop Podcast on the Inside Carolina Podcast Network, presented to you by Giant T-Shirt and GiantT-Shirt.com. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe. You get these great interviews, these great podcasts, if you rate them and review them and then subscribe, that helps us and helps us become bigger and better, like Don is every day. All right, Don, that was awesome. Little technical difficulties at the beginning. We moved inside, and it was a little fuzzy with the internet, but it cleared up. So we did the best we could with where he was, and I think it turned out fine.
We also had a goat.
And then right
I
when
can't
he was,
believe I can't believe that you haven't told me about this goat before.
yeah.
I am fascinated. I need to know more.
Yeah, so right when we kind of edited some of this out, I think, but Drake was on the beach and he moved inside, and during that, this goat came over. I have 2 goats that live next door to me, and they are in a pen, but they get loose, and the one of them comes over here, and I work outside a lot. As soon as I work inside, he'll jump up on my like big table I have in front of me. It's like this big table where I keep all my stuff. I have some cups and I have different things, pens, papers, candles, whatever. And he just messes around. He eat anything. He started chewing my freaking power cord during the podcast.
Oh no!
So I had to like knock him off, and it messed up the audio for a second. And I was trying to turn the screen around to show you, but it was messing up the audio. So yeah, the goats, they were fun for a while, and I could take pictures and send videos around. But then last week, one of the goats, when I was on a run, it jumped up on the table and broke a ceramic mug, like a coffee mug.
Oh man!
And
do you have a good relationship with this owner?
Yeah, I'm fine with my neighbor, but I might have to have some tough talks with her because I can't have a goat coming over and knocking over my ceramic mugs or mid podcast. Like, what if the goat had just stayed and chewed on everything mid podcast?
Yeah. What would we have done? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Drake Maye, what did you think about his interview?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was great. I mean, he's as I expected. I deal with him all the time. I interview him all the time, so I kind of know what to expect from him. But we try to take a little bit deeper dive into certain things, and that was good. And he revealed some things, and just from a personal life with his brothers and going out, that was interesting. And being the rut of the family, which is kind of funny to think of when you see him, and he's 6'4", 6'5" now. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, great. Very personable. Good little country twang. A lot of no sir, yes sirs, even like after questions or when they weren't even needed, but which was great. I can see a very likable guy. I can see how people are drawn to him. Good leadership stuff. And I could have talked to him for a lot longer and gotten really in depth on certain things. I mean, how the coaches are hitting him up to start recruiting people, the group chats, focusing on different recruits, his, the whole thing with Alabama and UNC in that flip. And I kind of zoned out a little. I think I was figuring out something else, but you asked him about quarterback commitments or the quarterback recruiting and stuff. Did he say anything about the Alabama deal with what's his name?
He didn't go into detail.
Okay, yeah.
He basically said that he didn't focus on that. But I don't know if that's true. And he actually kind of said certain things when right before he flipped about how he was looking at that Alabama situation, and that was going to play a factor. And that might have just kind of been a little bit of a decoy for his decision to flip to North Carolina anyway. But I do often get asked questions, why does this quarterback want to go to, say, Clemson? Clemson has, 4 or 5 guys who are 4 stars, 5 stars. You know what I mean? And same thing with Alabama and some of these other schools. They just seem to every year get a 5-star quarterback, even though their depth chart is just there's a logjam of blue chip prospects. And I want to get into the thinking of that because a lot of people say, well, they could easily transfer so if they don't win the job. I don't know if anybody would admit to that willingly, but it is kind of interesting to figure out why that is.
Yeah, and you can't blame someone for wanting to wants to play. I mean, if he's behind one guy for the next 4 years who is a blue chip top 5 guy, you want to go play to prevent having to transfer because if you want to go to places hard, you make friends, you don't want to transfer. It's hard to do that. So you can't blame someone from wanting to be the man and at least have a chance to start relatively early because you saw with Mitch Trubisky. He could have gone anywhere and likely started pretty early, but he was behind Marquise and he only played 1 year. He's going to play 2 years, but was too good. Okay, Drake Maye, awesome he came on. Hopefully our listeners will appreciate that. Okay, the Tony Grimes portion of the podcast, Grime Dog. All right, Don, you saw him 2 weekends ago, right?
Yes,
Did
went
you go
up
up
there.
again? Did you go up again recently?
I did not. No, that was just 2 weekends ago. So what we did was
Okay, you rolled
because
out content throughout the week.
yeah, so and this was actually I talked to our editor Ben, and then also talked to Grimes's dad. So and that's not typical to have them. I don't want to say involved, but we didn't want to one day post a story with Tony Grimes, the next day post a video. It's a little bit overkill, and so um, we were given the heads up that he was going to make an announcement on Father's Day about setting up his actual commitment announcement for June 30th. So it just made sense with Father's Day, that announcement, to have that video come out right afterwards. And so that's kind of what we did. So it seems like and you know that I was up there multiple times, but just that one time. And we got to make those sort of decisions. But we knew that nothing was going to change between within that week as far as something major with his recruitment.
Yeah, so make sure you go to Inside Carolina message board, or even click on his profile, and you can see all the articles that Don's written. There's a couple up there in the last week or so from Don's time in Virginia Beach. All right, so the big news that broke on Father's Day. Yeah, it's weird because like you cover recruiting full time, but like you made me write that article, so I was a little confused on that. So I just basically did your job, which is not the first time. But Grimes is moved his announcement date from December 1st to June 30th, which is Tuesday of next week, which is a significant change because usually you get like maybe a month move or maybe do a little bit earlier, but this is months and months of a move up. Don, your take, and then we'll kind of preview his announcement.
Well, so I've felt like all along that Tony was getting burnt out by this.
Yeah.
And his father does a really good job of taking that burden off of him and handling a lot of stuff. And I think his dad enjoys it a little bit, definitely enjoys it much more than Tony does. And for my time in Virginia Beach and hanging out with him, and as I said, I think last week, I spent probably about an hour and a half just kind of just shooting the breeze with him. You could tell that he's done mentally. He's done. He's done with the process. He wants to make a decision and move on with his life. And I think that if he were to do certain things, I don't think he's going to end up graduating early like that has been discussed. But if he's committed somewhere, it makes it so much easier to make that move. And I think he just wants to focus on his high school season and get the hell out of there, graduate, and go to college. And the first step to do those things is make a decision. So I think that he has a school in mind. This is not a decision where, I just want to get over with, I'm going to make a decision. This is I want to get over with, and I know where I want to go sort of situation.
Yeah, do you want to reveal where you think?
I mean, I guess.
Check the weekly scoop.
Yeah, check the weekly scoop. You'll see. And it's not just the weekly scoop. I think it was a few weeks ago. My weeks are really running together, so maybe it could have been a month ago. But there was a weekly scoop where we took the group of, I think it was like just a dozen or so remaining targets that had offers, and I broke down their recruitments, where they stood, talking to a lot of sources and all that sort of thing, and then I gave a projection. And some of those projections, I'm gonna be candid and say that they were a shot in the dark. Some of them I felt a lot more confident with, but I also had a projection for Tony Grimes in that. And as we stand today, I'll stand by that projection.
There you go. Will you be attending the commitment ceremony?
So it's as of today, and things obviously can change. As of today,
this is Wednesday morning.
Yes, Wednesday morning. He's not planning on having anything similar to Ritzy or what Ra Dilworth did. So it isn't a situation to where that's really possible. So, but that could change.
Yeah.
The logistics of the whole announcement are being worked out, and I hope to have a little bit of better understanding of that later on this week.
And this would be, if he were to commit to UNC, Tony Grimes would be, I think, the second highest ranked recruit ever for the Tar Heels behind Marvin Austin.
Yes. Yeah.
He Grimes, 6 foot, 180 from Princess Anne High School in Virginia Beach, Virginia. number 7 nationally overall, number 1 corner, number 1 player, Virginia. Ranked a little bit lower in the 24/7 Sports rankings, number 20 nationally. But I mean, this is an elite guy. Right now, the crystal ball reads 100% Tar Heels.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to mention that his Final Four are Texas A&M, Georgia, Ohio State, and of course North Carolina. And what's interesting, though, is I think things are starting to leak out with this because at 24 hours ago, meaning Tuesday morning, Rivals, all of their writers, and they had been for a couple of days, had been projecting him to Georgia. And I guess on Tuesday throughout the day, it slowly started to switch where all of those same people who are projecting him to Georgia are now projecting him to North Carolina. A lot more projections also from 24/7 Sports, although they happened a little bit sooner, were projecting him to North Carolina. So I think people are talking, things are leaking out. What I will say, though, is that based off of what I know, within the last couple of weeks felt like North Carolina's biggest competition for him was Texas A&M and not Georgia. Because from what I gathered, Georgia barely made his top 4. Actually, if it was a top 3, Georgia wouldn't have made it from what I gathered. So things look good for North Carolina, especially if you're looking at what's being reported out there.
How far is the drive from Chapel Hill to Virginia Beach?
I know the drive from my house, which
that doesn't matter, Dom. It's not about you.
It's is 3.5 hours. So,
okay.
I'd guess.
Hey, if Tony Grimes wants to go to Don Callahan's house, it's 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
the man tower. The man tower.
You never know.
Grime dog in the man tower.
You never know.
All right, I'm gonna do some quick Google mapping here. One thing, Don, is do you like doing these videos? Zoom videos?
With you and I?
Or just in general for podcasts?
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't like having to look at myself. Cause I see that my hair's messed up or my shirt's askew,
Yeah, I mean that used to bother me early on, but I'm just kind of like today I was thinking about what shirt I should have on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess I don't care. The only thing I don't want to do is wear the same shirt twice in a row. So I was trying to remember what I wore last week. Not that it would, because really it's a week. So yeah, and then I do my laundry. I actually do my laundry. That's my chore for the weekend. Is I do the household's laundry. So
how many times will you wear a pair of shorts before you wash them?
Shorts are different. So God, there's so many factors involved. But a pair of gym shorts that I wear just in the house, I don't go outside with. There have been weeks where I've worn them the entire week, but usually it's a few days. What's your call on that?
Well, I know that when you wear gym shorts, you're not working out in them. So I know you don't need to wash them.
I do work out.
Right into that one there.
All right. So what's your call on the shorts?
Yeah, same thing. I'll have a bunch of casual shorts that I wear around the house and during work that I'll go, even 2 or 3 weeks if I'm not exercising in them. Then I have a set of exercise shorts that are different. They usually have built-in underwear or running shorts that I use to work out in.
They provide support, right?
Yes, and I will wash those, daily, if not, every couple of days. I have a couple pairs, so I'll throw them into a light wash cycle, just because they get so sweaty and stuff. But yeah, shorts and pants, I think guys across the board, unless you're sweating a lot or they have stains, you're waiting multiple weeks, depending on how often you wear them.
Yeah, and I have kind of turned into a Mr. Rogers sort of type to where I have my gym shorts and my t-shirt that I wear at home, but if I'm going out, after I get some of my work obligations done, I have to do a couple things, some errands, I will put on a completely different attire. And then once I get back home, I'll switch back into my gym shorts and t-shirt and all that.
Yeah.
Just to be comfortable. Mr. Rogers got it. Other than the shoes, I just can't do this sneakers in the house sort of thing.
Gotcha. All right, good stuff. Tony Grimes, 2021 5-star. All right, so if Grimes commits to UNC, he will be the 17th commit for the Tar Heels. And obviously he'll be their top-ranked recruit, which is pretty crazy. It's kind of weird. Take a step back. We obviously are going to do this a lot more later on in the year, but this class is getting ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we've been doing deep dives into just where this class will end, ranking wise. Because I mean, right now it's great. North Carolina's ranked 5th, but no one's going to remember that in a couple of years if they ended up are ranked 25th. Not that I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Like Tennessee's class is ranked like 2nd or something, and really, if you look at just their class, they're probably not going to finish within the top 20 or so. But anyway,
really that much? Does they have a lot of commitments right now?
they have a lot of commitments, a lot of 3-star guys. I think they have like almost like 25-ish.
Yeah.
And some of their top-ranked guys, I don't follow it as closely because it's Tennessee, but some of their top-ranked guys supposedly are wavering. I'm not reporting something. I'm just kind of just having guy talk here with my friend Ross Martin. So this is just more of just off my memory what I've just kind of read real quickly. So it doesn't seem likely that they're going to be in the top 10, even though they're ranked like 2nd or 3rd right now. I'm basically saying there's just so much that's going to happen between now and signing day that things are going to shift dramatically. But to compensate for that, I've been doing kind of a deep dive into just where North Carolina could end up. And if they get Grimes, they're a lock to be a top 15 class, which is a huge accomplishment for North Carolina. Only one other class has done that in the internet era. And I think really they're going to have a really good shot at a top 10 class, which is super impressive.
Yeah, I think Tennessee. They had a lot of coronavirus, quarantine commitments. So
Yeah.
once they open up and go other places, they might have to decommitments. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, guys committing who had never visited campus. North Carolina, all of North Carolina's commits have visited North Carolina multiple times, more than at least twice or more.
Yeah. Quickly looking at the class right now, they could have 17 by Tuesday. A tight end, maybe another offensive tackle. What else are we looking at?
That's really it. I mean, I think that there's not going to be a whole lot of additions to this class. The list of actual targets is half a dozen, probably under that. So we're really, and we've slowly kind of moved towards this in the weekly scoop, but we need to start educating ourselves on the 22 class because that's where all the movement's going to happen for the next couple of months.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Don. Anything big for this weekend? We'll move the top 5 to next week. I think it's a pretty full podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe not next week, but the next time we record. We'll see because we have some things in the works, so we'll see. Top 5 is a good one though. I like it. I think we've gotten a lot of submissions already. Top 5 most important players for UNC football in the 2020 seasons. We're talking the team. Everybody but Sam Howell is available for this. Who you think is the most important, the most critical, the most crucial players for UNC's roster in 2020 season?
Yes, and regardless if we're going to actually talk about it next week or the next time we do a podcast, send in your submissions. The returns so far have been good and some interesting names on those lists.
Yeah.
So looking forward to some more.
Yeah, tons of ways to approach it. Because all right, we'll stop there. Okay, anything else, Don? We're good?
We
all right,
are
cool.
good.
Hopefully people enjoyed that Drake Maye interview. I think it went pretty well. We've had this is our 4th interview now in the last couple months.
Working on another. We have another potentially coming up.
Yeah, of both signees and commitments. It seems like most of the signees are kind of on campus now. So it's going to be kind of commitments from this point on. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to The Scoop on Inside Carolina. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe. And we will check you out next time.